Asia Minor, Anatolia. A bunch of tribes are fighting over the hill. The Hittite king Telepinu recognized the country of Shabtuna as an independent state in a treaty with King Ptah, and controls vast areas with his fearsome chariots of death. But in order to subjugate the Jamchad, he must pay homage to the Hadad cult rituals, probably human sacrifice, to assure oneself of the power of the deity. Voila! Ulul. The Yam had worshipped the weather god and were, from the Hittite perspective, a powerful state for a long time. Finally, the Hittites granted Jamchad the title of Great Kingship. The Hittites became the Great Hatti Empire, and numerous city-states arose which were ruled under autonomous kings with similar traditions and warfare. The Anatolian royal union conquered Babylon but could not hold the region. Back in Atusa, the Hittite king wanted to reassert his authority over the other autonomous kings. But he had to realize that his authority could no longer be asserted. The savage Kassites took over Babylon, desecrated the temples, and polluted the streets with feces. In the chaos of scheming, a usurper of the Mitanni, the king of the Hurrians, seizes the opportunity, a tribe from a long time ago. He uses the new warfare from Anatolia and conquers the hated Assur. He controls large areas of the region with his chariots. At this time, the Egyptian pharaoh Thutmose I leads a campaign to the north. The kings of Hatti had always respected Assyrian autonomy and valued Assyrian allies, so they supported the rightful king of Assyria and made peace with the Egyptians. The Mitten Usurpator, king of the Hurrier, found himself surrounded by enemies and was ultimately defeated by the royal alliance of the Hatti Empire and the Egyptians. The defeated Mitanni king became a vassal of the Hatti Empire, and the Arzawa and Lukka regions also joined the Empire of Kings. While Lukka was under an autonomous king, the Arzawa region consisted of several rulers. Now you were all kings, but not necessarily allies either. Around 10 independent kingdoms established themselves under the Hatti Association, with autonomous city-states, with high walls and an independent army. Each region could provide about 5,000 warriors, about 50,000 warriors in total, and about 3,000 heavy chariots. But the alliance of the Anatolian kings was only as strong as the benefits they gained from it. The various Anatolian kings also pursued their own interests. After 100 years of peace with Egypt, the loose military alliance of the Anatolian Pasha rulers of the Hatti was put to the test. The Amorites expelled from Babylon the Semites who fought against the Akkad Empire. In the surroundings of Sumer and Akkad, the Mardabejuans rose up, those who know no barley, but the wall of Uruk was stretched like a bird's net over the steppe. They no longer wanted to be slaves of the Pharaoh of Egypt, but rather kings of the kingdom of Hatti. This led to border disputes over the Amurru region, around the regions of Syria and Canaan, between the royal military alliance of the Anatolian great kings and the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II. So around 1274 BC, Ramses sent his army to Kadesh to pacify the region and eliminate border disputes. The goal of Ramses II was to break up the Hittite alliance system and push back the influence of the Hittites. Through this advance, the Egyptians asserted their claim to Syria being under the supremacy of the Hittites. The Hittite Empire under King Muwatalli II, son of Mursali II, responded, and the following years saw the most famous battle in ancient Egyptian military history. To protect themselves from the Egyptians, the kings of Hatti maintained a fortress near Kadesh. The countries of Asia Minor subordinate to the Hittite Empire, like the Muwatalli mercenaries, who came from different regions of Asia Minor and Syria, as well as Lukka, Massa, Shabtuna, the former Arzawa, and Ptah. Kaskians from northern Anatolia and Dardani were also stationed on the Hittite side. Pharaoh knew this. The Hatti had established a front line at Kadesh, and Kadesh, with its high walls, was just the decoy on his campaign across the Gaza Strip to Syria, to Kadesh. He first had to find out where the enemy's fortress was located in order to cut off reinforcements and supplies from Kadesh. so that he can ultimately siege and conquer Kadesh. He captured 2 Syrian scouts. Ramses II was famous for his poisons. It is said that he slept in a sarcophagus full of poisonous scorpions and his breath smelled of death. Any man hit by Amon's arrow will swell blue and explode. The Syrian scouts are brutally tortured with poison until they tell the pharaoh where the reinforcement camp is. Kadesh lies in the fork of the Orontes River, and the fortification with the reinforcements is to the left of the river. Pharaoh could hardly wait to defeat the enemy, and advanced with his army. He brought with him 20,000 men from Egypt, divided into 4 powerful divisions. Amon's division, led by Ramses himself, included 2,000 horse-drawn chariots. The division Re consisted of Ethiopian-Nubian elite warrior slaves who swore unconditional loyalty to the pharaoh. The division Set consisted of the Egyptian elite archers and slave overseers. The Ptah division consisted of simple archer slaves. Ramses could hardly wait for battle and left the other divisions behind. As he advanced toward Kadesh, he wanted to take advantage of the night's favor because he paid homage to dark gods. The Ethiopian elite slaves went after their pharaoh. For they ate their enemies, and their warrior honor forbade them to stay behind. This resulted in kilometer-wide gaps between the divisions. Ramses reached the Orontes River and kept to the left until he encountered an enemy army, just as the captured scouts said. The stationed reinforcements from the Hatti fortress. About 5,000 warriors, early cavalry riders, and heavy chariots. Ready to attack. Ramses did not hesitate and attacked with Amon's division at the forefront, with about 2,000 light chariots. This is how the Battle of Kadesh began. But his first attack failed.